welcome to DIGStv. Today we head to Malibu, California to talk to the realtor to the stars and the area's top architect. Malibu, California, 27 miles of pure Pacific coastline with a little glamour mixed in. Today we explore a modern home that exemplifies the best of beachfront living in one of the world's most desirable real estate markets. It is such a pleasure to sit down with you, and of course this is one of your listings of many in Malibu, where you have been the top realtor for Coldwell Banker for the last 16 years. I know you've sold homes to many household names, Ellen DeGeneres, Richard Gere. So when you rolled up on this gem, what were some of your first thoughts?
Just the feeling of space. It's so unusual to have a beach house where you have the house, pool, grass, and ocean. So in that aspect, it's fantastic.
Now, when you walk through it, what are some of the things that really jump out at you?
We have this indoor-outdoor lifestyle, and this house epitomizes that. Everything, there's movable walls of glass throughout the property, and it's set back a little bit. So, you know, it can be so windy out there, and you can still have all the doors open. The master is like the downstairs, which just completely opens up to the most beautiful view. And it's interesting because from this view you have these beautiful rock formations out there, so it's just not this plain sandy beach. There's so much character, and Doug Burdge, the architect, was genius in creating the spaces that he has here.
About your style, it's almost synonymous with modern day Malibu living.
Early on in my career, actually, I was doing a lot of work down in Cabo San Lucas in Mexico, and I got kind of used to doing this ultimate inside-outside style. Anybody that's been to Hawaii, you know, the climate really dictates that. And so it was not a lot of houses that were actually really took advantage of that. I mean, even in Malibu where the climate is, it's usually just cool. So you're heating your house more than cooling. So you want to take advantage of that. And then especially in this particular house with an owner that had a hospitality background, we wanted to make it feel like you just came to a really cool hotel, even though it's your house.
What are some other materials that are a little different, or something maybe different that you tried out here?
Well, the shell stone that we chose, we actually used it originally down in Mexico a number of years ago, because it was a natural material, but it had some texture to it. So teak as a material is beautiful in its coloration, and then against the simplicity of, let's say, a Caesar stone counter, which, you know, they're white, they're kind of, it's called pure white. That was important to have that other contrast versus using some other stones. And so, you know, we didn't have to use a lot of the metals, even though most of the metals here are an over a bronze color, both of the door hardware and of the windows and doors, because they actually take to the elements and they last pretty long.
What also would be helpful, I would imagine, to a prospective buyer is the idea of the built-in furniture.
You know, if you design a room, you have your first choice of where the bed goes, and so let's just build that in. And you have a small room, you have to think of it as a ship, because we've all been on boats, and they are so good at figuring out little crevices to put, these are where your clothes go, and this is where you're supposed to put your phone, and this is where you're supposed to put a lamp, and so you really want to have that ability to design it, because you wouldn't need to change that. And so obviously with someone buying a home like this, all of that's built in, and then just your upholstered goods, which are always easy to change because those are things that are part of it. But even the built-in furniture is all out of teak, and it just matches, and it's functional, and it works. So someone can just come here with their toothbrush and their bathing trunks, and they should be all set.
The space feels like an 8,000 square foot house, even though it's not.
It's interesting because it's almost like a mini compound.
On the beach property in the Colony, you get 30 feet. Carbon Beach, you get 42. Malibu Road, you get 50, but this has over 125 feet of frontage. It doesn't exist. It just doesn't. And you really don't feel your neighbor. So you have this essence of complete privacy. We had a huge celebrity lease this property before the remodel for 3 years and never got bothered here. So, I mean, if someone is high profile and they want to escape, this is it.